Okay, so welcome back. This is episode 3 of the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. And last episode we completed Eden Prime, our tutorial planet. Now we're about to... We lost Jenkins, we recruited Ashley, Nihilus got killed by Saren. Saren wanted a beacon that Shepard was affected with, and now we're going to try to explain all this nonsense to the Council. Good luck.
Good timing, Commander. I was just about to bring us into the Citadel. See that taxpayer money at work.
Ship.
The Ascension, flagship of the Citadel fleet.
Well, sizes and everything.
Why so touchy, Joker?
I'm just saying you need firepower too.
Look at that monster. Its main gun could rip through the barriers in any ship in the Alliance fleet.
Good thing it's on our side then.
Citadel Control, this is SSD Normandy. Requesting permission to land.
Stand by for clearance, Normandy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's foreshadowing, sure, but it's not that awkward because in 7 standards, really. The important thing is the awe-inspiring experience that is looking at this giant thing. It's literally a city in space.
This is an outrage! The Council would step in if the Geth attacked a Turian colony?
The Turians don't found colonies on the borders of the Terminus systems, Ambassador.
Humanity was well aware of the risks when you went into the Traverse.
What about Saren? You can't just ignore a rogue Spectre.
Yeah, that whole it's humanity's fault for being attacked bit, that's basically victim blaming.
Your charges against Saren. We will discuss the CSEC findings at the hearing, not before.
Captain Anderson, I see you brought half your crew with you.
Just the ground team from Eden Prime, in case you had any questions.
I have the mission reports. I assume they're accurate?
They are. Sounds like you convinced the Council to give us an audience.
They were not happy about it. Saren's their top agent. They don't like him being accused of treason.
Okay. I want to pick the bomb left option. I want to pick the bomb right option, but I don't want to say something like... Shepard was optimistic at first, but after hearing what they said about humanity, basically saying it was their own fault for being attacked, yeah, I'm gonna just go with this.
I'm not gonna sit on my ass just because the Council doesn't want to do anything. If they won't stop Saren, I will.
Paragade. There we go.
You've already done more than enough to jeopardize your candidacy for the Spectres. The mission on Eden Prime was a chance to prove you could get the job done. Instead, Nihilus ended up dead and the beacon was destroyed.
That's Saren's fault, not his.
Then we better hope the CSEC investigation turns up evidence to support our accusations. Otherwise, the Council might use this as an excuse to keep you out of the Spectres. Come with me, Captain. I want to go over a few things before the hearing. Shepard, you and the others can meet us at the Citadel Tower, top level. I'll make sure you have clearance to get in.
And that's why I hate politicians.
I mean, yeah, Udina and the Induda and company weren't exactly nice, but actually, they didn't actually say anything to give a reason to dislike politicians, period. It's just a weird thing to say. Like, are you implying that you don't like politicians because they would rather do paperwork instead of seek justice? Are you saying you don't like politicians because they're willing to protect their personal assets at the cost of justice? Give me something here. Alright. So... okay. Now, we don't have a better time doing this than going around and talking about it, so let's just take this in the top left.
These allegations are very serious. I can't just... This is serious. My reputation is at stake. I spoke with the Council in confidence, and she betrayed that confidence. All right. I will look into it for you. In the meantime, do not do anything rash. Pleased greeting. Human, it is always good to see your kind. I am Ambassador Kalen. Genuine query. Is there something I can do for you this day?
Why do you explain what you're about to say?
Our people communicate less through words and more through scent and slight movement.
I mean...
plainly...
the game intends for us to... we can just... I'll explain later when we're done with this, basically.
To other species.
Why do you bother, Kalen? These Earth Clan don't really care about our ways.
Jesus Christ.
Remorseful response, Din. You don't truly believe that. And if you do, I am very sorry for you.
Shit. Alright, so let's...
Tell me more about your species.
Yeah, we should have started with that first, then have the other stuff talk to us.
It is agreeable to share our culture with others.
Tell me about the history and origins of the Elcor.
The Elcor were just beginning to explore Council space when the Asari first made contact with us. With their help, we discovered the relay closest to our system, and from there the Citadel. Proudly, within one lifetime we established a regular route to the Citadel, and quickly became one of the more active species living on this great station.
I'd like to know more about the culture of the Elcor.
Frankly, we Elcor prefer the safety and familiarity of our own colonies to the confines of space travel. Our society is built on small, tight-knit groups, though we are always welcoming to outsiders. Our government tends to be very stable. Our people are not very comfortable with sudden changes.
What do you do here?
Alright.
Modestly, I work to bring the problems and the requests of the Elcor groups to the attention of the Council.
They only give us these positions to keep us quiet. The Council doesn't care about our races.
Chastising rebuke. Your tone is inappropriate, Din. This human is not to blame for your malcontent or your misconceived suspicions.
Goodbye, Ambassador.
Sincere farewell. Good day to you, human. Enjoy your time on the Citadel.
So the role-playing justification for why my character is doing this is that this is the first time he's actually been on the Citadel. And if he's gonna have any chance at getting to understand how to prepare for any type of, like, actual trial for Saren, he needs to understand how the culture of this place works. So talking to the other species for the first time in his life is the only way he's got to do that.
Earth Clan, you are in the wrong place, I think. Your ambassador is next door in the large office.
Chastising remark. Don't be so rude, Din. At least introduce yourself.
I am Din Korlak, Volus ambassador. Is there something I can do for you, Earth Clan?
Tell me about the Volus, specifically.
I'd like to know more about the Volus.
I'm sure our history and culture would bore you, Earth Clan.
You seem to have a bit of a chip on your shoulder, Din.
You humans are new to the Citadel, and yet the Council has granted you great favor.
Chastising rebuke, Din. Your species has always been granted many concessions. Volus territory has expanded tenfold since coming to the Citadel.
Details. We still have no real say in the decisions that affect Citadel Space.
I'd like to know more.
I'm sure our history and culture would bore...
Actually, I would like to know more about your history.
My people came to the Citadel shortly after the Asari and Salarians had discovered it. We were instrumental in establishing a standardized galactic economy. However, despite our long association with the Citadel and our many contributions to galactic society, we still do not hold a seat on the Council.
Tell me about Volus culture.
We are tribal by nature, but our ways are not violent. We barter and trade our lands and tribe members in order to increase status. Larger tribes often engulf smaller ones and eventually split again. Our society is very malleable, and our government is always shifting and changing. Since we're not physically adept, we trade our services for protection.
So we're beginning to see the formation of the council races, who's on the top, who's on the bottom, and why. And all that is very, very interesting.
What is this place?
You are in the embassy for the Volus and the Elcor.
Your ambassador is next door, in his own office.
In this shared space, I aid my fellow Volus when I'm not being interrupted.
What is it you do here?
I look out for the best interests of the Volus people. No easy task considering how often we are overlooked by the Council.
Chastising rebuke, Din. The Council favors your species greatly.
You are naive. The Earth Clan will be invited to the Council long before our species will.
Actually, interesting. So the Volus want a seat.
Why aren't the Volus or Elcor part of the Council?
All species must prove themselves before they join the Council. All but the Earth Clans, it would seem.
Dismissive. Ignore the Volus ambassador, human. He is incorrect in his assessment.
Really? How long have we been waiting? How long do you think we'll continue to wait? Bah, this talk is
We gotta remember that detail for later.
Goodbye, Ambassador.
Yes, yes. Good day, Earth Clan.
So what were you talking about, Zelton?
Hello there, human. Sincere apology, but I am here on business and cannot be distracted right now.
You seem distressed. Is there something I can do to help?
Alarmed response. You overheard that, did you? This is all going so wrong, and it is the Asari consort's fault. She's the one who started all this.
Who's this Asari consort?
Curious, you have not heard. You must be new to the Citadel. Everyone knows Sha'ira, the consort. I cannot speak more about this problem. It is too sensitive. Suffice it to say, she has compromised my authority as a diplomat.
Where can I find this Asari consort?
I'm not doing this necessarily to see if I can fix your reputation or whatever, but it's something I need to keep in mind for later.
Big place.
Wow, that audio mixing is weird here.
I can't tell the aliens from the animals.
Ah, that oh so iconic line. That's basically the reason most of the BioWare fan base still to this day hate Ashley. Like, and I'm saying most because not a lot of people who play BioWare games go to forums and the like, so that line is the entire thing they know about her.
Welcome to the Presidium. Allow me to Good day, Commander. The human ambassador is up the stairs, first room on the right.
You know who I am?
Yes, I receive reports on all newly arrived dignitaries and notable people.
What is this place?
This is the Presidium. More specifically, you are at the Citadel embassies. If you have more questions, please access Avina.
What's that?
Oh, Avina is the virtual guide for the Citadel. Feel free to access the terminal yourself.
What's your name? What do you do here?
My name is Safiria. I'm the administrative assistant for the embassies.
You seem to be distracted.
The embassies are the hub of all Citadel policies.
We learned your name, we still called by your title.
Citizens, it tends to get a little busy.
Trillions, people.
I should be going now.
Have a pleasant...
Alright. So, let's do it like this and just walk around.
Greetings and welcome to the Presidium. My name is Avina, and I am pleased to be your guide throughout this level of the Citadel Space Station.
What does that mean?
I am a fully interactive virtual intelligence, programmed to provide spontaneous guidance at predetermined locations of interest throughout this level of the Citadel. I may also be contacted through any of the Presidium VI terminals, should you require assistance.
Give me the tour.
You are standing at Presidium Tourism Terminal 1. On either side of this lobby are the embassies of the various Citadel races, along with CSEC headquarters. On the far end of this level, you can see the Citadel Tower, where the Council meets regularly to discuss matters of interstellar importance.
I want to know more about Citadel security.
This episode is basically going to be the Exposition Power Hour, ladies and gentlemen, so sit back and relax.
Officers serve in the wards. Executor Palin, a Turian, is the current head of CSEC, but individuals from virtually every species across Citadel Space serve as officers beneath him. If you wish to learn more, Executor Palin's office is located in the CSEC headquarters just across the lobby.
Tell me about the embassies.
Each species in Citadel Space important enough to be consulted on matters of galactic politics maintains an embassy on the Presidium. The Volus were the first non-council species to be granted an embassy, roughly 2,384 galactic standard years ago. As Citadel Space has expanded, more embassies have been added. The most recently added embassy belongs to your own species, humanity. It was added 19 galactic standard years ago, despite some rather vocal opposition.
Now, of course, Shepard knows all this, because, well, no, Shepard doesn't know all the fine details, because he was never technically given high school education. He joined the military right at the age of 18. Anything he would learn, he would have to learn on the fly, so this history lesson is very important for him.
Why were people trying to keep my species out?
Some species felt humanity was given preferential treatment. It often takes a century or more before a new species is granted an embassy. The Council gave a great deal of thought to this matter. In the end, they decided humanity's impact on Citadel Space was significant enough to warrant an embassy.
And since we know about the Volus from earlier...
How come the Volus were the first species given an embassy?
In the early years following the formation of the Council, the Volus were, apart from the Asari and Salarians, the most populous and widespread species in Citadel Space. They established many new colonies and trading outposts, and they petitioned the Council for a greater role in determining interstellar policy. In recognition of their work to expand interstellar trade and establish a standardized galactic economy, the Volus were granted an embassy here on the Citadel.
You're beginning to see now why our Dolan friend, the Volus ambassador, why he might have a problem with why humanity got an embassy at all compared to him. And now is in a position to get a seat on the Council.
Why weren't they made a council race?
The Council races have extensive responsibilities. They must provide personnel and ships for the Citadel fleets. They often provide economic aid in times of disaster. It would be unfair to demand such an enormous burden of a species unable to meet these obligations. The embassies allow lesser species to have a voice on the Citadel.
And the Volus race simply do not possess the ability to, I'm not gonna lie, buy their way onto a council seat. Being able to provide things like fleets and ships implies having an economy along with territory, and you need monetary value of some sort in order to acquire both of those. But that terminology is a little, a little bothersome, Avina.
That's pretty damn arrogant.
I apologize if my personality has offended you. Please submit all formal complaints in writing to the Citadel Tourist and Visitor Board.
Why were people trying to keep my...
The Council gave a great deal of thought.
Do you agree with their decision?
I am not programmed to make that kind of qualified judgment. My code is limited to
yes,
information
after the
and
gaffe,
simple
you're not meant to have genuine intelligence. You're just a tour guide, and that's all you're programmed to be.
Do you know anything about Spectres?
The term Spectre is derived from the branch of Special Tactics and Reconnaissance. Each Spectre agent is hand-picked by the Council. Their primary role is preserving galactic stability and resolving volatile situations that cannot be handled through normal political channels. In this role, they are granted extraterritorial rights and jurisdictions. Spectres answer to no law or authority except the Council itself.
So, basically, what we already learned from the Codex. And yeah, like I explained in the first episode, Spectres are basically the Grey Wardens or the Jedi of this game. They're a way to give the player maximum roleplay and power fantasy agency. I'm not afraid of saying power fantasy. We're all old enough at this point, if we're playing the Mass Effect Remastered, to understand what that word means in context like this without losing our minds. I hope.
What can you tell me about the Citadel Council?
Originally, the Council consisted of representatives from the Asari and Salarians, the two dominant species in Citadel Space. Roughly 1,304 galactic standard years ago, Turians were invited to join the Council in recognition of the role they played during the Krogan Rebellion. Since then, the three Council races have worked together to ensure the peaceful coexistence of the galactic community, while preserving individual autonomy for each species.
That does sound too good to be true.
It can't be as simple as that. There must be problems somewhere in the system.
I am not programmed to make that kind of qualified judgment. My code is limited to information and simple interaction simulations.
Now, yeah, we can't question something that can sound like we're asking for an opinion, even if we're questioning the logistics of the matter and not really asking for a personal judgment. But that's about all we can do here.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, and thank you for using Avina. Please enjoy your visit to the Citadel.
The Asari were the first species to discover the Citadel. When the Salarians arrived, it was the Asari who proposed the establishment of the Citadel Council to maintain peace throughout the galaxy. Since then, the Asari have served as the mediators and centrists of the Council. An all-female race, the Asari reproduce through a form of parthenogenesis. They can attune their nervous system to that of another individual of any gender and of any species to reproduce. This capability has led to the unseemly and inaccurate rumors about Asari promiscuity. Asari can live for over 1,000 years, passing through 3 stages of life. In the maiden stage, they wander restlessly, seeking new knowledge and experience. When the matron stage begins, they meld with interesting partners to produce their offspring. This ends when they reach the matriarch stage, where they assume the roles of leaders and counselors.
So this is explaining why the Asari... So this is basically telling us that the Asari are at the very tippy top of the pyramid because the whole Citadel was their discovery. And as a result of the fact that... Well, they called the dibs. Galaxy-wide calling dibs. And, you know, the fact that they look distinctly female to every other species in the galaxy and other things we'll see later is a good part behind why they're going to be all over the place, basically. And Turians are basically the military might.
Were invited to join the Citadel Council to fulfill the role of galactic peacekeepers. The Turians have the largest fleet in Citadel Space, and they make up the single largest portion of the Council's military forces.
Which is why the Turians were more or less the second force to join the Council. Now for the non-Council.
The Elcor are a Citadel species native to the high-gravity world Dakuna. They are massive creatures, standing on 4 muscular legs for increased stability. Elcor move slowly, an evolved response to an environment where a fall can be lethal. This has colored their psychology, making them deliberate and conservative. Elcor's speech is ponderous and monotone. Among themselves, scent, slight movements, and sub-vocalized infrasound convey shades of meaning that make a human smile seem as subtle as a fireworks display. Since their subtlety can lead to misunderstandings with other species, the Elcor often go out of their way to clarify when they are being sarcastic, amused, or angry. Dakuna's high gravity impedes mountain formation. Most of the world consists of flat, open plains, which prehistoric Elcor wandered across in small family bands. Modern Elcor still prefer open sky, and can become restless and uncomfortable on long starship journeys.
Yeah. So, as you can see, information. We get a bit on their physiology and what their home worlds are like, which is why some of the species evolve in the way they do, and look the way they do as well.
Species of the Citadel with their own embassy, but they are also a client race of the Turians. Centuries ago, they were voluntarily absorbed into the hierarchy, effectively trading their mercantile prowess for Turian military protection. Erun, their homeworld, lies far beyond the normal life zone of its star. However, the world has a high-pressure greenhouse atmosphere that traps enough heat to support an ammonia-based biochemistry. As a result, the Volus must wear pressure suits and breathers when dealing with other species, as conventional nitrogen-oxygen air mixtures are poisonous to them, and in the low-pressure atmospheres tolerable to most species, their flesh will actually split open. Volus culture is tribal, bartering lands and even people to gain status. This culture of exchange inclines them to economic pursuits. It was the Volus who authored the Unified Banking Act, and they continue to monitor and balance the Citadel economy.
High-pressure green atmosphere. It's basically they have to wear certain. Yeah, basically we can't ever see what a species, what the Volus really look like underneath their skin because of the conditions their home world forced them to live under. Which is also why they have a very difficult time gathering the resources necessary to buy the way into the Council. I think we'll just keep now. Alright, here we go.
The Citadel is an ancient deep space station, presumably constructed by the Protheans. Since the Prothean extinction, numerous species have come to call the Citadel home. It serves as the political, cultural, and financial capital of the galactic community. To represent their interests, most species maintain embassies on the Presidium, the Citadel's inner ring. The Citadel Tower in the center of the Presidium holds the Citadel Council chambers. Council affairs often have far-reaching effects on the rest of the galactic community. 5 arms, known as the wards, extend from the Presidium. Their inner surfaces have been built into cities, populated by millions of inhabitants from across the galaxy. The Citadel is virtually indestructible. If attacked, the station can close its arms to form a solid, impregnable shell. For as long as the station has existed, an enigmatic race called the Keepers has maintained it.
We'll learn about the Keepers later, but basically, you get a gist of how important the Citadel is as a monument in space just in its description, and why so many people consider it the center of the galaxy.
The Council is an executive committee composed of representatives from the Asari Republics, the Turian Hierarchy, and the Solarian Union. Though they have no official power over the independent governments of other species, the Council's decisions carry great weight throughout the galaxy. No single Council race is strong enough to defy the other two, and all have a vested interest in compromise and cooperation. Each of the Council species has general characteristics associated with the various aspects of governing the galaxy. The Asari are typically seen as diplomats and mediators. The Solarians gather intelligence and information. The Turians provide the bulk of the military and peacekeeping forces. Any species granted an embassy on the Citadel is considered an associate member, bound by the accords of the Citadel Conventions. Associate members may bring issues to the attention of the Council, though they have no input on the decision. The Human Systems Alliance became an associate member of the Citadel in 2165.
So, to simplify this a bit more, the Asari are the mages, the Solarians are the thieves, and the Turians are the warriors. Perfectly balanced, as all things would have been in any other situation, except this rock, paper, scissors game is being broken down by humans deciding to add a fourth type of object to their, you know, triangle here. I'm not dealing with Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle anymore. Now these mofos are going to have to try to fight Pikachu. Because no matter how much weaker Pikachu is in Charizard, Venusaur, or Blastoise, he can always equip the Light Ball and double his attack and defense. Yeah, I think I ran that into the ground.
Humanity's first contact with an alien race occurred in 2157. At that time, the Alliance allowed survey fleets to activate any dormant mass relays discovered, a practice considered dangerous and irresponsible by Council-aligned races. When a Turian patrol discovered a human fleet attempting to activate a relay, they attacked. One human vessel survived, retreating to the colony of Shanxi. The Turians followed, quickly defeating the local forces. Shanxi was occupied, the first and to date only human world to be conquered by an alien species. The Turians believed the handful of ships they defeated represented the bulk of human defenses, so they were unprepared when the Second Fleet, under Admiral Castany Drescher, launched a strong counter-offensive, evicting them from Shanxi. The Turians mobilized for full-scale war, drawing the attention of the rest of the galaxy. The Council quickly intervened, forcing a truce. Fortunately for humanity, the First Contact War was ended with a diplomatic solution.
And now we finally have context for why exactly Turians and humans are basically each other's throats. Or at the very least, very tepid with each other. Why Saren's racist towards humans, why the Volus have a problem with humans, why humans and Turians are distrustful of each other, yada yada.
The Systems Alliance is an independent supranational government representing the interests of humanity as a whole. The Alliance is responsible for the governance and defense of all extrasolar colonies and stations. The Alliance grew out of the various national space programs as a matter of practicality. Sol's planets had been explored and exploited through piecemeal national efforts. The expense of colonizing entire new solar systems could not be met by any one country. With humans knowing that alien contact was inevitable, there was enough political will to jointly fund an international effort. Still, the Alliance was often disregarded by those on Earth until the First Contact War. While the national governments dithered and bickered over who should lead the effort to liberate Shanxi, the Alliance fleet struck decisively. Post-war public approval gave the Alliance the credibility to establish its own parliament and become the galactic face of humanity.
Black and white lived in perfect harmony and ganged up on green. Quote, Terry Pratchett. That's basically all that means. Yeah, basically area government. There's one ultra government in this future now where we all have to basically look out for each other's backs because there's plenty more people to have a problem with.
The terminus systems are located on the far side of the Attican Traverse, beyond the space administered by the Citadel Council or claimed by the Human Systems Alliance. It is populated by a loose affiliation of minor species, united only in their refusal to acknowledge the political authority of the Council or adhere to the Citadel Conventions. Their independence comes at a price. The terminus is fraught with conflict. War among the various species is common, as governments and dictators constantly rise and fall. The region is a haven for illegal activities, particularly piracy and the slave trade. At least once a year, a fleet from the terminus invades the nearby Attican Traverse. These attacks are typically small raids against poorly defended colonies. The Council rarely retaliates, as sending patrols into the terminus systems could unify the disparate species against their common foe, triggering a long and costly war.
So, you know, the Citadel Council doesn't have jurisdiction across the entirety of space, because that would be absurd. Therefore, some people refuse to accept their authority, and as a result, it's dangerous that even specters go out to Terminus. No one wants to mess with these mofos.
A virtual intelligence is an advanced form of user interface software. VIs use a variety of methods to simulate natural conversation, including an audio interface and an avatar personality to interact with. Although a VI can provide a convincing emulation of sentience, they are not self-aware, nor can they learn or take independent action. VIs are used as operating systems on commercial and home computers. Minimal VI agents are also available. Agents are compact and specialized. Some serve as personal secretaries, filtering calls and scheduling meetings based on user-defined priorities. Others are advanced search engines, propagating themselves across the extranet to collate user-requested data. Commercial VIs in a variety of stock personalities are available at any software retailer. Boutique firms and hobbyists also build unique VIs to personal specification. Although software emulation of living personalities is illegal, reconstructions of famous historical figures are common.
That last sentence is, in light of a lot of other things, very good and a very morally gray thing. If you want to know what I'm talking about, there's a certain Hideo Kojima game out there that basically took the idea of recreating people for personal entertainment to its logical conclusion. And that's all I'll say about that.
Combat kinetic.
Yeah, that's just stuff. What we actually need to know, we'll figure out later on. Alright then. So, really good stuff to see. Really good stuff. You know what? Yeah, I guess we'll go up in the bridge. Thought I had to go down here specifically, but we still got some exposition to learn about, more lore to build, and my Shepard is getting very educated. Very educated. Like, now we can sprint. It's like, the old sprinting trick in the original version of the game was deliberately setting up a grenade that would force your character to enter a combat mode, like
fire in the hole,
where we had to do this in order to increase how much distance we could travel, but apparently just having a weapon out is a lot better than that. Oh, hey, crap, that's it. Presidium locations, so we can go to the embassies or the Citadel Tower right themselves. we're not going to do that. Again, because there's still some exposition to discover.
Welcome to Presidium Tourism Terminal 3. Here in the financial district, a number of businesses offer various goods and services to their exclusive clientele. The statue you see before you was commissioned to honor the Krogan soldiers who gave their lives to protect Citadel Space during the Rachni Wars. In the aftermath of the Krogan rebellions, several embassies petitioned to have the statue removed. However, this motion was eventually quashed by the Council.
What are the Krogan rebellions? Let's start with the Morillo Statue, actually. Let's see what that's about.
Why did the Council fight so hard to keep the statue?
The Krogan were instrumental in saving the galaxy from the Rachni threat. The Council believed this historical fact should not be forgotten. The Council also hoped that preserving the memorial would improve diplomatic relations with the Krogan and bring about a peaceful resolution to the rebellions. Unfortunately, the Krogan refused to negotiate and only surrendered after their population and homeworlds had been ravaged by the Turians.
Tell me more about the Krogan rebellions.
In recognition of their efforts during the Rachni Wars, the Krogan were granted several new colony worlds by the Council. Over the next 400 years, the Krogan species began to expand. Blessed with an extremely high birth rate, their numbers began to swell. Faced with a critical overpopulation crisis, the Krogan started a violent colonization of nearby worlds inhabited by other Council species. The Krogan rebellions had begun.
The Clone Wars had.
The Council and its member species fought to bring the Krogan under control. With the aid of the newly discovered Turian Empire, they were ultimately successful.
You needed the Krogan to stop the Rachni. Then you needed the Turians to stop the Krogan. So who's gonna stop the Turians?
I'm sorry, but that question is beyond my programming parameters. The Turians are members of the Citadel Council. They are not a threat to galactic peace.
Yeah. Being a member of the Council does not mean you cannot be a threat to galactic peace. That is the entire basis behind why we need to investigate Saren and how much of a threat he is right now.
What were the Rachni Wars?
But specifically, this is one of those situations where we should have learned about the Rachni Wars first, and then the Krogan rebellions later. I don't know why the wheel is structured like that.
A highly intelligent and aggressive insect race, the Rachni unleashed a war of conquest against the rest of the galaxy that lasted for nearly 3 centuries. The emergence of the Krogan finally turned the tide in favor of the Citadel species. Krogan forces provided the numbers necessary to halt the Rachni advance and drive them back. The Krogan then pursued their retreating fleets. Able to survive the harsh environments of the Rachni homeworlds, the Krogan hunted their enemy to extinction.
Was it really necessary to wipe them out?
I am sorry, but a value judgment of that nature
I mean,
beyond my programming.
Avina, for someone like you, that actually should be a very clear-cut yes or no answer. If you need another species of invulnerable killing machines to kill this super swarm, I think you can kind of objectively say yes, for as simple as you are.
Why did the Council fight?
Unfortunately, the Krogan refused to negotiate, and only surrendered after their population and homeworlds had been ravaged by the Turians.
Well, I'm not going to make a value judgment on that, because that seems... Well, my Shepard's a little too, oh, so the Krogan fought the Turians too. We have something in common. Let's not make too much of a value judgment on that right now.
That's all for now.
Thank you for using Avina. Have a pleasant day.
Though now extinct, the Rachni once threatened every species in Citadel Space. Over 2,000 years ago, explorers foolishly opened a mass relay to a previously unknown system, and encountered something never seen before or since, a species of spacefaring insects, guided by a hive mind intelligence. Unfortunately, The Rachni were not peaceful, and the galaxy was plunged into a series of conflicts known as the Rachni Wars. Attempts to negotiate were futile, as it was impossible to make contact with the Hive Queens that guided the race from beneath the surface of their toxic home world. The emergence of the Krogan ended the Rachni Wars. Bred to survive the harshest environments, the Krogan were able to strike at the Queens in their lairs and reclaim conquered Council worlds. But when Krogan fleets pressed them back to their homeworld, the Rachni refused to surrender, and the Krogan eradicated them from the galaxy.
Now, interesting that while the Rachni are listed as extinct,
50,000 years
they
ago,
aren't exactly represented in this picture by a statue like the Protheans are, or melted corpses in this case. Pay good attention to that detail.
After the combat, kinetic bear, combat, avert.
Oh, like the secondary stuff. I do that because we Sylvan leveled up. Nice. Let's see. And what's this person supposed to be?
What's this? One of the Earth Clan. Ah, a very famous one, yes? You are the one called Shepard. It is a great honor to welcome the heroes of the Blitz.
You've got me at a disadvantage here.
Forgive me, Earth Clan. My name is Barla Vaughn. My job makes it necessary for me to keep informed. I'm a financial advisor to many important clients here on the Citadel. When someone as important as yourself arrives on the station, I take notice.
What's it like living here on the Citadel?
So you're saying you're an information broker. Interesting.
In the galaxy. It is a technological marvel, but its true splendor goes much deeper than the hull and engines. From the Presidium to the wards, the entire station is a testament to the success of the Council. All the species of Citadel Space together in a single, strong community.
What makes the Presidium so special?
It is the political center of Citadel Space. 80% of all intelligent species in the known galaxy acknowledge the Council's authority on interstellar matters. But only the most powerful and influential species have embassies here on the Presidium. This level of the station is reserved for the elite, Shepard. People like us.
What are the wards like?
The cultural heart of the galaxy. They pulse with the lifeblood of millions of citizens from dozens of different species. You never know what you'll find out in the wards, Commander. It's always full of surprises. Fortunately, most of them are pleasant.
So, this is High Town, and this is Low Town, basically. It's like a city. The slums, and this is like the pretty clean skyscrapers, pretty much. Makes sense.
Tell me more about your job.
This place looks better than you can literally live your whole life in it if you had the ability to, so... Dividing the slums and whatnot.
Interstellar economies. I'm an expert in how all these economies interact. For a fee, I share my expertise. I also offer premium services for those clients who need someone to conduct business without drawing unwanted attention. Discreet and efficient. That's my motto.
Sounds pretty shady.
Everything I do falls completely within the bounds of interstellar commerce law. Even so, many of my clients would prefer their transactions remain undisclosed. For example, suppose a Hanar ambassador was petitioning the Council to reduce tariffs on Hanar goods. How would it look if he had money invested in a Hanar exporting company? Even if his true motives were to help his people, he would be accused of advancing the petition for his own personal gain. I can keep his personal finances private.
I am going to have to say I do get it at this point, because saying I don't buy it basically implies I don't see the value in knowing an information broker at all, and that's silly even for my uneducated. Like, my dude grew up on the streets. He was in like, yes, I went with his backstory. He was in the street gang, okay? Get over it. Like, that's the Earthborn backstory. He knows exactly how incredibly useful someone like Baravan would have been surviving without anyone else but the fellow thieves behind your back.
I should go.
Woo! We leveled up. Now, every time we pass a new fast travel location with the rapid client transport, we can, go to it.
Please do not disturb the keepers. Welcome to Presidium Tourism Terminal.
So this is actually the second one. You're supposed to see them in this order, even though 2 is so much farther away from the first one. It's ridiculous.
Behind me is the spectacular relay monument, a scale model representation of a Prothean mass relay. To your left is one of the keepers, the enigmatic caretakers of the Citadel, working on a control panel. You may see keepers involved in various tasks throughout all levels of the Citadel. We ask that you do not interfere with them in any way. The keepers are essential to the smooth operation of the Citadel. Obstructing their daily work will result in harsh penalties, including incarceration and rehabilitation.
Yikes. What's that about?
I'd like to know more about the keepers.
Little is known about these peaceful servants of the Citadel, though they are essential to the operation and maintenance of the entire station. Citadel regulations protect the keepers against interference during the performance of their tasks. Failure to comply will result in harsh penalties. Keepers can be seen in all sections of the Citadel, but are typically found in and around the tower.
Any particular reason there are so many keepers in this area?
The keepers do not communicate with other species. It is assumed, however, that the tower houses the Citadel's primary control systems. Many of the station's systems, such as navigation and life support, function automatically. It is believed the keepers operate those systems from inside the tower's inaccessible core. The keepers also make frequent appearances in the council chamber itself, though they appear to be just passing through on their way to some other destination.
Tell me about the relay monument.
Discovered by the Asari who first arrived at the Citadel, the relay monument is one of the station's most interesting and controversial features. What is the meaning behind this striking piece of art? Is it a tribute to Prothean vanity? A reminder of their conquest of the galaxy through mass relay technology? Or perhaps it is a symbol of unity, a Prothean acknowledgement that the relays would eventually lead other species here to the Citadel. No one can say for sure, making the relay monument a favorite topic of discussion among academics and scholars.
Alright then. And last but not least, the Citadel Tower we are currently traveling to.
Tell me about the Citadel Tower.
Housing both the council chambers and Citadel control, the tower is one of the most important buildings on the station. Access to these areas is restricted to those with the appropriate clearance.
What happens in Citadel Control?
Citadel Control handles all incoming and outbound transit. Every ship within 2,000 kilometers of the Citadel is under the jurisdiction of Citadel Control. At peak capacity, they are responsible for monitoring upwards of 1,000 vessels.
Yeesh. No wonder the control No wonder Citadel Control... No wonder you need to get a seat in the council, you need to bring your own fleets to the table, because they're basically just getting added to the crew, to the... Yikes. That's a lot of manpower.
I'd like to hear more about the council chambers.
The business of the council, which often has far-reaching effects on the galactic community, is conducted in a room at the apex of the Citadel Tower. The council chambers themselves are truly a magnificent sight to behold, though few get to experience the view in person. Only the councilors, ambassadors, and high-ranking officials, along with various support staff, are allowed access.
What if someone has business with the council?
The average citizen must go through the proper channels if they wish an audience with the council. This is usually arranged through their respective ambassadors. Even then, few are given access to the actual council chambers. In most cases, the ambassador acts on behalf of the citizen.
I'm scheduled to have an audience with the council.
Only a handful of visitors to the Citadel are ever granted that privilege. I would be jealous, but that is outside the scope of my programming.
You can say that. You can give the veneer of being catty, but you can't show personality. Because that sounds like personality to me, Avina.
That's all for now.
Thank you for using Avina. Have a pleasant day.
When the Asari discovered the Citadel, they also discovered the Keepers, a docile, multi-limbed insect race that seemingly exists only to maintain and repair the Great Prothean Station. Early attempts to communicate with or study the Keepers were failures, and it is now illegal to interfere with or impede Keeper activity. Because they are completely non-threatening, Keepers have become virtually invisible to everyone else. Similarly, they seem indifferent to other species, except for their tendency to help new arrivals integrate themselves into the Citadel. No matter how many Keepers die due to old age, violence, or accident, they maintain a constant number. No one has discovered the source of new Keepers, but some hypothesize they are genetic constructs. Biological androids created somewhere deep in the inaccessible core of the Citadel itself.
Yeah, so since no one knows what's going on with these people, it's just best not to actually... It's just best to ignore them.
Engineering advanced far beyond the technology of any living species. They are enormous structures scattered throughout the stars and can create corridors of virtually mass-free space, allowing instantaneous transit between locations separated by years or even centuries of travel using conventional FTL drives. Primary mass relays can propel ships thousands of light years, often from one spiral arm of the galaxy to another. However, they have fixed one-to-one connections. A primary relay connects to one other primary relay and nowhere else. Secondary relays can only propel ships across a few hundred light years. However, they are omnidirectional. A secondary relay can send a ship to any other relay within its limited range. There are many dormant primary relays whose corresponding twins have not yet been located. These are left inactive until their partner is charted, as established civilizations are unwilling to blindly open a passage that might connect them to a hostile species.
And this is pretty much the most important piece of lore we've gotten yet, because the mass relays are pretty much the reason everyone is in space and able to do anything. This technology is pivotal to interstellar travel and communication. If the galaxy lost this, it's no different than getting marooned on whatever planet you live on. Alright then. So, we're at the Citadel Tower, meaning that there's no more time for putting it off. We gotta go meet the Citadel Council and try to get them to hear us out about Saren being evil. Wish us luck in the next episode, everyone. I hope you enjoyed all this. I hope you enjoyed the Exposition Power Hour.